you doing, friends? I promised myself I wouldn't be like every second YouTuber and open the show with, "It's your boy," but it is your boy, Ralphie. It's what the Gen Zs say, so, just trying to be cool. But anyways, welcome to my little part of the web here at Kiwiradio.nz. We're just streaming on the video platform right now on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Kiwiradio.nz. Not on the radio station itself because I just don't have the technical know-how right now to do so. But this will be replayed on the radio station later on as well. Or if you want to support the broadcast, you can also go to the members page there and it will be archived in the MP3 archives. And I just wanted to touch base and share some local stories, local New Zealand stories, real people, real pains of the job market. That is the topic of today. If you head over to my YouTube channel, you will actually see, and I've lined up a couple of videos here, so bear with me. You will actually see that I posted. I was in my car. I was pretty distressed. Pretty distressed that I've been finding it hard to find work for the last month. Usually, I'm the type of guy, and I reckon in a normal market, I'd just be employed like that, like gravy. This time round though, ooh, not so much. And I'm just wondering if I can share these stories and perhaps, get some input from my friends that are going through Job Seeker or something like that, and maybe they're also struggling as well. And I did post a video yesterday if you want to check it out now, and I will just go to youtube.com/Kiwiradio.nz. So just checking I am live, so if you are listening in, hello. Oh, Nitin is right there at the front gate. Hello to Nitin. How you doing, mate? Just doing a bit of a live stream and follow up to this little video here. Let's play it. Here from Kiwiradio.nz. Thanks for stopping by on the channel. Just want to give you a quick update as to what's happening in 2024 with the job market. It is tough out there right now in New Zealand, for me anyways, and probably for a lot of people. Well, anyways, I've been going down the Reddit rabbit hole, for example. And oh yeah, don't go down the Reddit rabbit hole if you're looking for work. It's just one sob story after another, but also frightening to know that there are a lot of scams out there, people preying on the vulnerable. While they're already down, kicking them while they're down. That should just completely be illegal. If someone's trying to scam you while you're looking for work, that should be like lifetime sentence there, because that's just cruelty, right? That's just cruelty. But it's happening. And so I shared it's a 30-minute video, and I kind of filmed it off script, and I was feeling pretty down, pretty vulnerable, and so I wanted to post it. I wanted to drive and just kind of air my thoughts, because sometimes when I go for a drive and I'm airing my thoughts, it's like a little exercise, like going to the gym, right? You feel a little bit better after that. So anyways, I was surprised to see your responses coming in. So I really do thank you for that. By the way, there we go. Here I am being an entrepreneur. If you're a sole trader and you want to automate your tax, head along to HNRY NZ. There's an app there that you can download. You get free credit, and we both get $25. So that's the link there, and that'll be below my video as well. So a bit of a native advertising to start the show. And also I want to thank one of my regular bookers and sponsors, aucklandmarket.co.nz. We will be playing around Auckland, playing shows. So it doesn't happen too often. It really is a side income. But we'll be doing that as well. Whew. I was thinking this show will be a little bit more engaging. Hopefully it's a good start. Nitin, how are you doing? How are you finding the stream? Are you working at the moment? let me know what you're up to in the comments section. And if you're listening to this right now, I thank you for tuning in. It will be replayed at Kiwiradio.nz. But anyways, I wanted to read out some of your comments. I've got a couple of comments that have come in on the YouTube channel and also on my personal Instagram, which I messaged a bunch of just really close friends, like private messaging them, seeing what the job market was like for them and whether I was just going crazy or whether it's kind of a little bit more widespread. And it seems like for the last 7 months, it is actually a bit more widespread. So I felt like I unsorried myself. I'm sorry, English is my strongest language, as you can tell. But yeah, I felt like I didn't have to feel so sorry for myself. I was feeling down, but I'm okay. I'm not like, suicidal or anything. But it is pretty rough. Speaking of that, though, I just wanted to quickly start the show with this little story of so I'm looking for employment, but there's also the other end of it with people in employment and they're finding it toxic. So I just wanted to quickly share this one story that kind of resonated with me, because sometimes if you're putting yourself out there, and I never wanted to be a YouTube person, really, but it's for my own internal processing. But sometimes people can be mean to you, like, "Oh man, you're suicidal. You just," and it's just like, no, I'm just trying to process, But this story right here, I just want to quickly share with you because it kind of resonated with me. How people can maybe take out the humanity or not kind of see people for who they are. They're just sort of like, I don't know, just mean, really. Yeah, check out the story right here.
Pulling the curtain back for a little sneak peek into big law. Brace yourself. To set the scene, I was fresh out of law school, working at a big firm, and one of my closest friends at the firm was a year or two ahead of me, so that person was also a fairly new associate. There was crushing pressure to work around the clock, sacrifice your mental well-being, your physical well-being, your family, your friends, anything that brings you joy in the name of doing work, and there was the expectation that work be, and they were being treated poorly by people who had a lot more power. The list goes on and on. All of this is to say that my friend was really, really, really struggling, and it was worrisome. My friend felt as though they couldn't reach out for help or express that they were having difficulty because that would expose a weakness and make them vulnerable to not being able to continue their employment there. I was nervous to do anything on their behalf because I was fresh out of school and had less seniority that wouldn't have been viewed favorably and would have negatively impacted us. One day when my friend was having a tough day and I was in their office comforting them, a senior associate walked in and said, a lot of us have noticed that you're not doing well. We're kind of concerned about you. And I thought, perfect. Finally somebody with more power who the partners will actually listen to and they won't have to risk their job in bringing up any concerns. Finally someone is coming to help, and I thought, maybe this person will go speak to the partners with my friend or on behalf of my friend to just kind of bring the concern up the flagpole, and hopefully together everyone can work towards a solution. Unfortunately, that is not the route that the senior associate took, and they said to my friend, if you're going to commit suicide, just please don't do it at the office because that would be really unfair to everyone here.
Wow. That's kind of what I meant. Like sometimes if you're in the public eye or if you're brave enough like me to kind of start a YouTube channel, brave enough and crazy enough. Yep. Brave enough or crazy enough, then you put yourself in a vulnerable state, but also people can kind of be mean about things. So like, I remember I've got like a mailing list of 2,000 people, right? And I'm a story guy. Like, I will tell the people that follow my content everything, really. I don't sugarcoat it. It's not an Instagram reel. I just tell them how it is. And I will say if I'm struggling. And actually one time when I was struggling and I was in between work, one of my guys that helped me throughout my music career for a long time actually chucked a $1,000 in my account, and that was because I had no income. I was like behind and just kind of things like that. And what I've realized with having this YouTube channel and having people comment in that, I want to make sure that I'm not so much reaching more people. It's not about reaching more people. It's more about reaching fewer people, but more meaningful. That makes sense. And so, yeah, I want to say thank you to Nitin, who's in the channel, saying it's a dark place, Reddit. It really is. But it's kind of cool. Not cool, but it's kind of, I like the format Reddit because it's like people's journal entries. And because it is written, you can hide behind a pen a little bit and stay anonymous as such. And so with that, I think people open up a bit more. So that's why I've been enjoying Reddit, and I wasn't really a Reddit person till recently. So, but yeah, Nissan's checking it out, working on a Friday. Cool, awesome. Yeah, Nissan is saying, when did we become Korea or Japan? That's so true. Like when, you always hear about those all those Chinese factories with people jumping out of windows because working conditions were so poor. I want to say Supreme Cannon is also in here. Woo! I just literally messaged him right now. I saw that he was online on one of my social platforms and asked him to come on, come say hello. And that's what I was a little bit like before coming on today. I because I've got so many messages coming in, I wanted to kind of process it, maybe edit like a really cool video and make it really engaging and, make it, process it before uploading it. But then I was like, you know what? It's actually more fun to just go live. First of all, it's the lazy approach because I don't have to edit afterwards. But also you do get this engagement, which is what's happening right now. So, yeah, I want to say woo to that. So thank you very much. And yeah, just so the format of today was just a follow-up from yesterday. And if you haven't checked out my video, head over to youtube.com at Kiwiradio.nz. Have a look at that. It's about half an hour. And I was just, telling people about my experiences with job interviews at the moment, feeling as though companies are not really hiring. And since then, I've learned about terms like ghost hiring and things like that, where companies would just kind of pretend they have a role available, but it's actually not. That's to, please their existing workers and hang the carrot to make sure they can squeeze more out of them, that kind of thing. But before I get started, I came across this YouTube channel, and this guy doesn't know that I'm plugging him or anything, but I kind of have been checking out a lot of his videos. And look, it's about Gen Zers, obviously. They follow where their friends are, so they're all hanging out on the TikToks. And I, for one, will never join TikTok. Okay, for one, I think it shortens people's memory spans, so it's reduces your IQ, and two, it's an app for CCP monitoring, really. So I would never use it myself, but people are using it, and so it's been interesting checking out the Gen Zers and their stories about finding work, struggling, and it's hard for them, man. It's hard for them. So it's hard for me because I'm a 40-year-old male trying to get into work, and I think someone I was working with was saying that when you get to 40 plus, it's like a bell curve. Your desirability lowers, but also Gen Zers is maybe at the other end of the bell curve. I don't know. I'm ranting, but yeah, it's hard for both spectrums with AI coming in and everything. It's just like, who are we hiring? I mean, where's the humanity in employment, right? But anyways, I have a lot to say. I will get to these comments, and feel free to pounce in. I've got a few more messages in my personal inbox that friends and family have sent me, so I won't share that screen because it has their names and stuff. So I've been very careful with that. But also a good friend that I love dearly, they told me to call them something funny. So basically, they sent me voice messages, which I disguised. So I'll play that for you as well. But let's call this person apparently Baroness Edwina Clunge. I don't know where this person got that nickname from. It's obviously not their real name, but let's just call them Baroness or Edwina or Clunge. Let's call them Clunge because I've never heard that before. So we'll have a little 1 minute audio testimonial from my friend Clunge. And actually, let's start with that because I think it was kind of sweet, and I don't know, like it was just really sweet because obviously I put that video out yesterday. I was a little bit vulnerable. So this person sent me this, and again, the voice has been disguised, and Clunge is not their real name. But and I've taken out all like names and things like that, so there might be some edits and splices. But this is what they sent me as a voice message.
Hey man, I watched your vlog. More than anything, I hope you're doing okay. You know, you're under the pump job-wise, and that's not a nice pressure to have over your head. And you mentioned, you know, you're feeling a bit flat and your self-esteem is pretty low, but hang in there, man. There's long, hard times to come, but those little moments throughout the day, probably those moments with your boy, they're worth more than any paycheck that'll come across your desk, and it's important to hang on to those, especially when shit's tough. But moreover, things, and it's not just a New Zealand thing. I mean, New Zealand is not great, and like they're talking about the brain drain 2.0, which was similar around the same sort of time as the previous recession that you mentioned. Because people are, you know, going, well, the housing market's fucked, the job market's fucked, so I have to try elsewhere, and there are opportunities, you know, in other parts of the world. And so that's what people are going for, and it's a necessity in their eyes, at least, is that that's what they have to do to get ahead. Coming back from the UK, having been there for 2 months trying to find work, telling me that recruitment agents are being laid off there, so the job market is cooked there as well. I think it's the state of the world at the moment, and a lot of that uncertainty is driven by the horrible shit that's happening. But equally so, we can't lose sight of the fact is that, you know, there's horrible shit happening in the Middle East and in Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that, and those are all having impacts on day-to-day life all around the world. But you can sort of globalize a lot of the shit that's happening in your smaller world, and it can become a bit too daunting and a bit too much. And it's important just to lower your eyes and you know, not get too swept up in what's happening outside of the, you know, outside of your current locale, so to speak. It's important to be aware of it, but you can't let these global things start to swallow you up, otherwise you just get down into the real darkness type stuff. And ultimately, man, the sun is going to rise again, and it's going to go down, and tomorrow's going to be another day, and you just have to kind of keep pushing. And it's really hard when you're putting yourself out there, like you say, for 100 jobs, and you're getting knocked back and knocked back and knocked back all the time. And it sucks because you do feel like you're just kind of whoring yourself out, and you know, you're sitting there, you know, being silently judged, and you know you're capable, you know you can do the work, and it's just, how do you best dog and pony show to 3 people sitting at a table opposite you to get a minimum wage job, for example, you know, and it's shit. But you just keep pushing, man, you have to. I think the fucking bastard politicians have a lot to answer for as well. And it's not just national. Labour have a lot to answer for as well. And I think that, particularly, I think we've been all poisoned by the politics of the United States and the us versus them thing that happened with Trump coming on the scene those years ago. Basically, it became less about I'm going to vote for what's important for me and my values, and more about I'm going to vote for the people that I like because I don't want the other people to get in. And it's become quite polarising, and I think everyone thinks that way now, is there's a real us versus them mentality, and we've kind of lost sight of the fact that, we invariably all live in a community, and it's important to be a part of that community, and by ostracising yourself from that, you suffer, but you also make it really difficult for everybody else, which is kind of the same idea you had about what you're trying to express in the video where, you're asking the question, does your job actually contribute to difficulties for other people? If you work in banking, are you part of an organisation that is meaning that people have to sleep in their cars because they have a mortgage for a house that they have to rent out? And it's greed, man. Like, I've been saying this for years, it's fucking greed. People are only really worried about getting theirs, and I can't deny, like, I thought like that once upon a time now, but I think now you have to think, well, at least I think that I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut, like, I'm just trying to get by. I do what I do for me, and like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes in the process, and I will do my best not to. But it's survival, man. You got to do what you got to do. I don't find myself, I'm lucky in the job to be fairly secure, I think, in my job, and I'm not sort of doing anything that's a detriment to those around me. I'm effectively just a mailman, really, which is quite handy. But there is restructures happening, like people are going to lose their jobs, and our wider digital services team are having those kind of meetings now. From what we can tell, so far we're safe, but there will be plenty others that are not. Anyways, man, I think the important thing is like, when those times get hard, hug your wife, hug your boy, spend time with them, be with them, and get some strength out of that. Things have got to go down before they go up, which is a shit saying, and it's a cliche saying, but there's an element of truth to it.
Yeah, man. So there you go. That is a nice piece of editing. Stop the music there. Nice piece of editing, behind the scenes stuff. That actually came in my inbox as 30-second memos, so I had to put it all together, edit out any of the names. You might have heard that sound effect, Quagmire, because they obviously disclosed the name there, and I just put Quagmire instead. Person that's really fun to be around, always joking, having a laugh, and it was just kind of pleasing for me to hear this person talking like that. You really hear them talk in a way that's so purposeful, meaningful, empathetic. It's just really nice to receive that, as opposed to the opposite of perhaps receiving this kind of thing.
Kind of bring the concern up the flagpole, and hopefully together everyone can work towards a solution. Unfortunately, that is not the route that the senior associate took, and they said to my friend, if you're going to commit suicide, just please don't do it at the office, because that would be really unfair to everyone here.
And I've had those kind of reactions with some of like my previous stuff, because I like to process. If I'm in the right, I like to process and kind of air it out, maybe do a blog and things like that. And as long as it's like in line with non-disclosures or like saying names, I think it's fine for me to kind of just air the story out, be real, and not an Instagram reel, not real like Instagram reel, but to be real. Hello to Big Rob NZ as well. Hey, thanks, man. Big Rob. I was just reading out some of the comments from yesterday's video, and sort of feeling a little bit more normal. The fact that I haven't been able to find work in the last month, because it seems like it's a bit of a global thing for like the last 7 months. So I'm feeling a little bit normal. But since Big Rob is in the chat right now, Big Rob, just in case you want to, or know someone that wants to call in, I do have an open line here on 09889 8555. That's on the screen right there, 09889 8555 if you are in New Zealand. My phone is currently open for you if you want to have a chat. But otherwise, I'll just read through some of the comments that I've had on yesterday's post, starting off with Big Rob's, saying that, yeah, I got laid off just over 3 years ago. I'm living off my investments, so I'm okay. I can't imagine being in the workforce now, and I'm glad I'm out. I don't think New Zealand and the world is going to be okay. Sorry to not be positive, but I study world economics and politics and don't like what I see. Have a good one, mate. Look, you sound really knowledgeable, Big Rob, and yeah, if there's anything I've missed with what you've studied in terms of world economics, geopolitics in general is really hard to follow, because as my friend was saying in that little voice memo I just played, you can kind of get carried away with, being obsessed with the incoming feed of real-time news coming from all around the world, and it can be really overwhelming, and sometimes we just kind of have to stick to what we know in our own turf. But I do feel that all the moving parts kind of join together, so I try and keep up with what's happening, but also at the same time, he's absolutely right. Control the controllables. I'm not a mover or shaker, so there's not much I can do about it. And unless it's like a impeding doom, like a train heading towards me right there and then, there's no point hyper-focusing on that kind of stuff as well. I keep going to this page. In case you're wondering what this little web page is, I'll just quickly shout out, and this is not a sponsor, but Brave Browser is really good if you want to surf the web. Brave Browser, it's absolutely free, but as you can see there, if you're checking out what this page is about, it's already blocked all these ads and trackers and saved me heaps of bandwidth. And actually, if you're watching YouTube and you don't want to pay YouTube Prime or whatever it is, it automatically blocks any ads. So that's why I love it. So again, not a sponsor, but yeah, in case you're wondering what that's all about, I'm going to have a quick wiki leak, but I'll quickly play this this video while I'm doing
can't
that.
find a job.
I'll be back in a few minutes, I promise.
It's not just you.
I've applied to about 150 jobs between October to now, and I'm still unemployed.
People can't even find a job with multiple degrees.
This is not what I expected. I graduated college with 2 degrees in communications and acting. I speak 3 languages. This sucks.
Even if they have experience already.
I just think that it is very, very, very funny. Comedic even, that I used to run restaurants and now I can't even get a job as a host.
And across different industries.
You may be wondering what happened with the other 2 companies. Guys, tech recruiting sucks.
I literally submitted over 100 applications for multiple companies. I am a business consultant and I've worked 13 years with healthcare domain.
Yet, allegedly, there are 8.5 million jobs available and only 6.5 million people looking for jobs in the United States. That's 1.3 jobs per unemployed person. In this video, let's figure out what is going on. It's not just the US thing, it's actually a global issue. I'd also like to share some tips on how you can increase your chances of landing a job, but also share some alternative ways that people are finding success, because securing a 9-to-5 job is not the only path. Applying for jobs, especially at the initial application, is a numbers game. That is, the more jobs you apply for, the higher the likelihood of you landing a job. However, that's not all you have to do. You need to get your resume through the screening, then ace all the rounds of interviews, and finally negotiate at the end to ensure setting yourself up for success. That is a lot, and on this channel, we talk a lot about using AI. So that is why I recommend checking out the Ultimate AI Toolkit for Job Seekers from HubSpot, which you can download for free. The first resource inside is a list of 20 AI tools that you can use here, also linked in the description. Thank you so much, HubSpot. this other chart, a chart of hires that were made, we saw that only 5.5 million people were hired, which is the lowest in 6.5 years since December of 2017. Also, this chart that shows the number of people that quit, we see that a lot of people are not quitting anymore. The Great Resignation thing, that is long behind us, because people know that if you quit your job, the chances of getting another one is pretty slim. And this is what gives us a hint that the optimistic numbers may not be what they seem. What counts as an available job is 3 things. Number 1, a specific position exists and there is work available. Number 2, the job can start within 30 days. And number 3, it is actively recruiting outside workers. So these are pretty vague criteria, and there are a number of things that can make it seem like there's more available jobs. According to these leaked documents published on Engadget, in 2022, Amazon had an annual employee turnover rate of 150%. That is crazy. Amazon has 6 million employees worldwide, and just to maintain that number, they're hiring 2.4 million employees per year, because the average tenure of an Amazon employee is only between 9 to 12 months. So since they know that they're going to have these people turning over, they don't even bother taking down the job postings, and they just have it open all of the time. At some point, if they ever need anyone, they can just, pull from the people who are applying. If you've been applying to jobs, or I guess just like looking at the job boards for fun for some reason, you also notice that there are a lot of identical postings that just have different locations listed. And that's because a lot of jobs these days are hybrid, where you can just choose to be completely remote. So in order to attract the biggest pool of talent, they would take the same job posting and just have it posted based upon different regions that are there, because it doesn't really matter where these people are located, and this just gives them better reach. So even though
Okay, so in the act of being entertaining, it is a really interesting 20-minute video there that I found, and the YouTuber is called Tina Huang. Is everything going well with the feed, guys? Supreme is saying, couple of finance guys I follow figure most of the new jobs in the US went to the migrants and net loss of jobs among actual citizens. Yeah, I wanted to get to that because, with remote work and everything, it's kind of like a race to the bottom. You're not just competing with your local market. It's like competing
with a job.
worldwide.
Now, this is me with no job.
I quite like
As
this
you can
guy,
see,
Billy
there
Boy.
is no emotional difference. But the big difference is that one of them is a broke bitch and the other is not. I'd rather not be the broke bitch. So currently, my full-time job is to find a job. I have been trying to find a job since January. It's been 4 months. Is that ridiculous or is that normal? Apparently, it is normal, and they were to be starving with no food.
Same thing as all the Reddit posts and all these TikTokers and whatever. They're saying that they're all finding it hard, and it's been a trend for like the last 7 months. But Billy Boy is that, again, he doesn't know I'm posting about him, but I just found his underlying sarcasm kind of hilarious despite his circumstance. He did eventually find like a minimum wage job, but again, it was like he had to take what he had to take, right? Big Rob NZ is in the chat. Let's just bring up this the other screen. He is saying the reason for the hang-ups in the feed is because of the weather. Yeah. So in New Zealand, it is really raining a lot right now. So anyways, just so you know, it is live. It is currently Friday, 14th of June, 2024 here in New Zealand. It is 4:45 p.m. right now. But again, this will be available as a replay at Kiwiradio.nz, where you can check out some other shows. So the format of today's video is to really just read back some of the comments that I've had, share some stories, because it's all about story time right now, local New Zealand stories of the job market on hand. So let's have a look at some of the other comments. So make sure that we're still live. Yes, we are. Yeah, so Chris here is saying maybe think of doing a Mike in the Night show. If you're unfamiliar with who Mike in the Night is, I think 3 out of 3 people in the chat already know who that is. But if anyone's catching this on replay and doesn't know what we're talking about, Essentially, if you go to mikeinthenight.org, the Rumble playlist will be there. And yeah, so I just wanted to quickly touch on that subject. Yeah. Chris is saying you should do a Mike in the Night show, which I guess this is what this is. I certainly like listening to you and the wisdom you have brought to us over the years. Whoa, wisdom, such a big word, because again, I'm not like a guru or anything. All my wisdom really comes from you guys that are listening to this and to me. It's all about the real-time feedback. So this, I think, has just frozen, so that's a bit of a bummer. Screen grab. Let me just try and reset it for a moment, guys. Boom. Yay! On and off. Always does the job. So it was frozen there. It's good now. As you know, if you check out Kiwiradio.nz, I just wanted to quickly plug this little widget, because these widgets don't come for free, actually. So if you want to help me out with the radio widgets and station for $2 a month, head along to Kiwiradio.nz. But I thought it would be really engaging if I started using this widget here, which I paid for, to kind of display our latest YouTube streams. Because, you know, I think we'll be doing a bit more of that this year, especially while I'm kind of in the job search phase of life. So I sort of do all my job hunting in the morning, and then yeah, maybe do spontaneous lives like this, but also look after my mental health as well, because you know, maybe go outside if it isn't raining and go for a cycle, because that's really important. I don't want to just be stuck in my little man cave going down the web rabbit hole feeling sorry. But anyways, going back to your comments, let's go. I just want to play this one again because it was just... Oh.
I'm just wondering...
Ooh. That was...
was literally taking all of the stress and anxiety that I was going through in this job and taking it out on my body, like to the point where I was, you know, panicking or having anxiety where I physically felt like I couldn't breathe. Like...
Yeah, so head along to that channel again. There's just some really good testimonials from people, whether they are employed and, like this lady is saying, feeling huge anxiety in corporate America, or looking for work. So I don't know who the winners are, really. We've read Chris's comments, Big Rob's comments. Let's read Belinda. Belinda's comments saying, yeah, things are getting tougher for sure. The type of work available is shifting, and it's very unsettling. Hard to keep up. In which I replied, the other week I got served by a robot while getting takeaways. There are self-serve checkouts everywhere, including at the pump at some gas stations. There are warehouses that are all, you know, robots, automated. Where is the humanity in future commerce, Belinda? Belinda then replied, yep, you can see more jobs being taken by AI all the time, and it's moving very fast. And I wanted to touch on that subject, actually, that AI is... I don't know, like everything, AI has touched every part of the job seeker's process, whether it's like, you know, automatically sifting through resumes and taking out keywords and maybe shortlisting that way, all done by AI, to the job itself. So you might have inquiries being processed by AI, so like ChatGPT or something like that, or anything that's... and then sort of like any escalations on what the robot can't pick up or answer, then it goes, you can transfer it to a human being. There's a bit of that happening as well. Just checking we're still live. Guys, if we're still live, can you comment on the thing here? I've just want to make sure we're still live. I think we are, but yeah, so there's that, and then once you're in the job itself, a lot of the heavy lifting is done by AI, like the stationery company I used to work for, the warehouse itself, you know, it was all automated robots and stuff, all the pick packing, so there's that, and then yeah, it's just kind of touched every aspect of the working structure. There's one other video I wanted to quickly play before I go to what my friends. Yep, thanks Supreme, you're such a buddy, and yeah, there's a lot of
Stop talking, please. Don't speak a single word.
Here we go. This is the one I wanted to play. There's like people getting scammed while they're going for job hunting.
I just got done with an interview and I should have done way more digging because
I'll play you this one I really related with, I guess.
Interview and I should have done way more digging because pretty sure it was a scam. But first of all, I get on the Zoom call and there's two other people in my interview and I'm like, okay, whatever. One guy's literally in his car and the other girl's on the couch and I'm like, what is happening? And for a second I thought they worked here. Nope, they were also getting interviewed. I was like, what? And the guy literally goes, I did a lot of research on your company and I found out this was a scam, so thank you for your time, bye, and just ends and drops out of the call. So then he like is saying hello to me, like the guy who was doing the interview, and it's like, I don't know what that was about, and I'm just like, red flag, red flag, red flag. And so then the other lady who is, I guess, being interviewed, he is like, oh, like, what's your name, like, blah blah blah, your Zoom title is emergency phone or something. And she like said it and then she dropped out of the call. So it was just me and this guy who is interviewing me. And I'm like researching this company even more like while he's talking because I'm like red flags are just going off left and right. And I applied for an event coordinator position. This man was talking about how I would start out entry level and then I would be promoted to account manager, branch manager, and then I can open my own branch wherever I want. And I literally, like, after he said his whole spiel, I was like, he asked me if I had any questions. I'm like, yeah, I'm honestly kind of confused. Like, I applied for an event coordinator position and what you're describing is nothing close to that. And so I just don't think, like, what I want aligns with what you guys are offering, unfortunately. So I don't think this will be for me. And I like said it kindly because I was like, what the heck? And he like immediately got off the phone. He was like, okay, have a good New Year, bye. And I was just like, oh my god. So then I did some digging. Apparently it's an MLM, which I didn't like. This company has done a great job at hiding that they're a scam because there were so many good reviews, but then if you like kept digging and went on Reddit and like kept going deeper, it got worse. And I was just like, thank God for that first guy to say something that like put the red flag off in my head. And I hate that I was duped on a Thursday afternoon, but I guess that's the life of being unemployed, trying to find a job. But that was just insane. So watch out, people. There's so many scammers on LinkedIn. It's ridiculous.
And so I really relate to her story because that exact thing happened to me. And I don't want to name, well, I won't normally name and shame, but when it comes to scams, I think it's our duty to notify each other. So in this instance, I will. I've got no ties to them or anything because no role came out of it. But I was looking through Trade Me jobs. And by the way, I've been told that looking through Trade Me, you are more likely to find scams that way as opposed to, say, going on Seek. Because Trade Me is like, you know, the entryway to making a post is very minimum and can be anonymous essentially. And I've been stung by Trade Me with like people not sending goods as well. So in general, there's a lot of scams on that website at the moment. And Trade Me, by the way, is just like a marketplace website here in New Zealand for anyone that doesn't know. And this exact thing happened to me. So the people that I got in contact with, they were called Apprento. And they're apparently like a sales role or